Shalom, children. Today we will continue listening to what Moshe has to say to the new generation of Israelites as they are on their journey and getting ready to enter the land. He starts out by telling them that they need to listen to all the laws and the right rulings that he's teaching them, so that they can live in the land Yahweh is giving them. He tells them, don't add anything to what you've been given, and don't take anything from it. Instead, they are supposed to guard the mitzvot and make sure that they do them. Moshe explains that by doing this, they will be wise and have understanding. He doesn't want them to forget, because this is really important. He tells them to teach their children and grandchildren too, so that they won't forget either. Next, Moshe reminds the Israelites of the time when they all stood before Yahweh at Mount Horeb. They were told to hear Yahweh's words, to learn his laws and teach them to their children, so that they could always do them in the land he was giving them. They did not see Yahweh speaking to them, they only heard his voice. So Yahweh did not want them trying to represent him by making anything that looked like a person, an animal, or anything else. And he did not want them bowing down to the sun, the moon, or the stars either. Here we can see an example of an idol, the thing that Yahweh doesn't want them to make. Yahweh himself brought them out of Mitzrayim so that they would not be involved with any of those things. Moshe also reminds the Israelites that he will not be there to lead them into the land, because Yahweh will not allow him to enter. If Moshe is not going to be with them when they go in, I hope they are listening to his instructions and stories closely, so they remember all of this. Moshe warns them to be sure they don't forget the covenant Yahweh made with them, and to guard against making any idols. If their children or grandchildren forget and start making idols or doing anything that Yahweh told them not to do, then Yahweh will be very sad. They will not be able to keep living in the land, and they will be scattered all over the world for a long time. But when that happens, they will still be able to seek Yahweh their Elohim and his promises, and they will find him when they look for him with all their hearts. Then they will be able to come back to Yahweh. Moshe reminds everyone that Yahweh will not leave them or forget the covenant he's made with them. Moshe then gives them some questions to think about. Is there any word as great as Yahweh's? Has any other group of people heard his voice coming out of fire like they have? Has any other group of people seen Elohim do all these amazing wonders in order to rescue them out of slavery in Mitzrayim? No, only Israel. Israel got to hear his voice from the heavens and receive his instructions. He loved their fathers, and he chose to show his power by bringing them out of Mitzrayim, so that they should not forget that Yahweh is Elohim and no one else. Moshe then sums up for them the commands that they need to remember as they go into the land. They and all their children should respect Yahweh, and they should guard and do all his mitzvot. He repeats to them one of the most famous instructions, one that you might know too. It's called the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai
The next instruction is called Vahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
Moshe reminds them that it is Yahweh who will bring them into the land and will give them cities and houses and all kinds of good food. He urges them to remember to serve Yahweh because He is the one who brought them out of Mitzrayim. And He lets them know that if they do what is good and right, then things will go well for them. And in the future, when their children ask them about the things, they can tell them the story of how Yahweh brought them to their good land and gave them so much. They can explain to their children all about the mitzvot that Yahweh gave them to help them do the right things so that they will enjoy a good life. Well, children, we have come to the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting Torah portion. Shalom.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk